One of the officers who defended the Capitol on that day is speaking out in op-eds for the New York Times and The Hill. Sergeant Aquilino Gonell writes this morning that he remembers the attack like it was yesterday. Quote, "I was barricading the tunnels with my body, receiving blow after blow from rioters using makeshift weapons and stolen police gear. By the end, I was covered in my own blood. Exhausted, overwhelmed and trampled, I did not know whether I would make it home to see my wife and child." Former U.S. Capitol Police Officer Sergeant Aquilino Gonell joins us this morning. Sergeant, thank you for being with us. He is the author of American Shield, the immigrant sergeant who defended democracy. And Sergeant, I want to, if I could, just take us back to the beginning and your shift at work 4 years ago today.
Well, thanks for having me. Look, on that day, myself, like many other of my colleagues, we defended the Capitol against a violent mob incited by the former president. And to sit here 4 years later and listen to some of the elected officials, especially Republicans, to say that they support the police, they do not. If they did, Donald Trump would not be president in the coming next weeks. And they will have put a plaque of the name of the officers who defended that very same tunnel that you are showing right now, where we were willing to risk our lives to the point of risking injuries and the trauma that we sustained. Donald Trump ran to avoid accountability. And that day, it was horrible for ourselves. It changed our lives. It changed our livelihoods. Many of my colleagues were injured, to the point of even losing eyes. And these are the type of people that Donald Trump and his ally are trying to pardon, violent criminals.
You write, the attack has, quote, altered the trajectory of my career and my life. Trump and his riders not only stole my health, but also the livelihoods of me and my fellow officers. How do you reconcile with that?
You can. I mean, all I could do is tell you that on that day, I was trying to fulfill my duties, keeping my oath, and defending my colleagues. What happened in the aftermath, it turns out that we were also defending democracy and the Constitution. While I'm one of the many immigrants that were defending the Capitol on that day, native citizens were attacking the Capitol. But yet, when it comes to immigrants, Donald Trump continued to denigrate them. And for a party and a person that always say that they want to reduce crimes, they're about to pardon more than 1,500 people that try to upend our Constitution and our very system of governance. I just learned that the Department of, in the federal courts, the judges are halting some of the plea deals because Donald Trump is saying that he's going to pardon these violent criminals. And that's a shame. It's a desecration to the service that myself and my colleagues did. Many of my colleagues were injured, and even the Department of Justice had refused to approve some of the benefits that they are entitled, like myself, where we sustained serious injuries. And yet, because of that, in my case, I had to resort, a friend of mine set up a GoFundMe to help me get by because those benefits had been denied also by the Department of Justice, by a Republican appointee that is a leftover that refused to acknowledge that January 6th was something terrible happened that day in the violence as well.
And so, Sergeant, looking forward to January 6, 2025 and going forward, what are your hopes? What are your dreams for our country?
I just hope that many people, those who decided to sit and be on the sideline and not be vocal about what they saw with their own eyes, what they witnessed, what they heard from the former president, they do say something. I did what I could as a police officer, as a military person. I had defended this country, a home and abroad. against foreign and domestic enemies, especially on January 6th. Look, the medals behind me is not because they have been given to me. I earned those things. And I think a lot of people sat on the sideline and, a few of us spoke out to remind the people that the danger that Donald Trump presidency would represent. People like Mitch McConnell, Kevin McCarthy, and Vice President Mike Pence, they stood aside. They watched while very few spoke out. Because if they did, I'm sure that a lot more people have paid a lot more attention to the danger that a second presidency would entail.